Hey everybody, Dubba here, and welcome back to your very next Summoner's War Chronicles video. And today, we're going to be going over the very most important farming spot in the game, Kairos. Now, Kairos is broken down into 3 sections. But first, before we begin, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so you can get in on future videos when I post them. Now, let's sit back, buckle up, grab some popcorn, and jump right on into the action. So let's start off with how to enter Kairos. First, you're going to want to know the entries are very limited. No matter how many crystals you have, no matter how much you well out, you can only enter so many times a day. But there are quite a few ways to get more entries. So, to start off, you only get 6 entries per day. That is, unless you buy the Summoner's Pass, which not only gives you some awesome rewards for the month, such as Devilmon and even a Nat 5, but also gives you double the entries per day. Once you use these 6 or 12, you can choose to refill in one of 2 ways. The first way is to refill with crystals. Without the pass, the crystal refill only charges 3 entries per refill, and you can only recharge 4 times. With the pass, however, crystal refills gives you 6 entries, but you can still only recharge 4 times. Now, the second way to recharge is using dungeon entry tickets. With these, you can recharge as many times as you like and save these up for as many times as you like. So you could save up 100 and burn 100 a day if you want to. Dungeon entry tickets are acquired through quite a few ways. First is your daily quests. Completing daily tasks results in 3 tickets a day from this section. Another way to get them is by using your repeatable quest tokens and doing the repeatable quests. Now these quests are full auto, so you could set this up for AFK farming if you like, but these quests can take a while. However, in the beginning, you will not want to spend your repeatable tokens on dungeon tickets, but I will discuss that later. Now, repeatable tickets are earned in many ways. I believe you can get up to 40 a day. However, only 20 recharge at server reset and will not go past your current maximum amount. So, if your max is 40 and you were at 38 when the server resets, you can only get 2 tokens instead of the maximum 20. So make sure you are using your tokens daily. Now, let's move on to the dungeons. The very first section I'm going to talk about is the Path of Training. This area is pretty simple and straightforward. There is a water, fire, and wind dungeon. These dungeons are pretty basic and require very little strategy to complete. The rewards are EXP items and gold. There's an extra feature that you should be aware of, and that is called Bonus Day. Every day, the bonus dungeon changes, and on some days, all 3 dungeons are the bonus dungeon. If you need to farm Path of Training, only farm the dungeon, which it is the bonus day, and here's why. As you can see here, on bonus day, the rewards are greatly increased. Not only do the EXP items drop, but there is a chance to drop more of them. There is also a chance to drop unknown scrolls, monster pieces, including 5-star monsters in the higher levels, and 4 and 5-star Angelmon for helping you evolve all your monsters. You should never farm a dungeon that isn't on bonus day. So the next section is probably where you will spend most, if not all, of your time in Kairos. This section is called the Adventure Road, and this is where you will go to farm runes. Runes are the most important piece of this game's puzzle. Without good runes, your team will fail. So farm runes and make sure you farm the right sets. And again, bonus days apply here as well. Bonus day for this dungeon increases the rarity of the runes drop, as well as nets you some crafting materials and endgame leveling materials. So don't waste your energy farming a dungeon not on its bonus day. So, To start us off is the very first rune dungeon you will come across, and that is the Queen Spider's Nest. This is probably the most annoying fight in Kairos. The Queen Spider will stack dots on you constantly. Not only that, but she will also summon 2 spider adds at regular intervals that will also place dots on you. And once those dots reach a certain amount, the Queen Spider's attacks ignore defense. So make sure you bring a cleanser. My favorite for this dungeon is Rena. She cleanses 1 debuff and places a shield on your team for only 4 mana. The Queen Spider has 3 telegraphed attacks. The first is a frontal cone, which all it does is taunt whoever is trapped in it. This will prevent you from attacking her adds, so it could be quite annoying. The other 2 are pretty bad. The first one places multiple dots on whoever is inside of it, and the final one is the worst. Get too many dots on you, and when she jumps in the air, she comes down hard and splat. However, if you manage to beat the Queen Spider, you will be awarded with 1 or 2 energy or endure runes. The next dungeon is Forgotten Earth Temple, and its boss is Rhodes, a giant sword and shield wielding statue. This guy is pretty easy, but he can also be pretty hard. During this fight, he is constantly building up an attack and defense buffs. You need to erase these buffs because if he gets high enough, he unleashes a hard-hitting attack that could easily wipe your team. At about 50% HP, he does an AoE that's really easy to dodge, but it gives him 10 stacks of defense buff. If you don't remove this, he will likely destroy you before you can destroy him. This is why I would recommend the Fire Fairy. Her skill set here is amazing. Her third skill replaces defense buffs with burns, and her second skill erases attack buffs. She is the most OP monster for this dungeon, and will make this boss an epic joke. However, there is one key feature I completely forgot to mention. If any of your monsters die during a boss battle, it will almost instantly fill the boss's ultimate gauge. While almost all ultimates are easily avoidable, if you see a boss glowing red, it means he is launching it, and if you happen to get stuck in it, well, yeah. But if you manage to beat him, he will award you with 1 or 2 fatal or guard runes. The third dungeon, I'm not entirely sure on the translation here, but as far as I could tell, it's called Lacrimal Cave. This dungeon's final boss is called Thalades. Now this guy has some interesting effects. First and foremost, if he has no dots on him, he has an armor on that reduces his damage taken, and this armor goes away the second that a dot goes on him. Now, this whole fight, he is constantly increasing his critical hit chance and critical hit damage. So the longer he stays alive, the more damage he does. Other than that, this fight is pretty straightforward. Dodge his AoEs, and you can easily survive. He does move around a lot, so you will have to chase him around quite a bit, but your goal will be to kill him as fast as possible. Let him build that critical hit chance and damage buff, however, and again, he will just as easily destroy you. If you succeed in taking this beast down, then this boss will award you with 1 or 2 Blade and Rage runes. Now for the 4th dungeon, and probably my most hated, is called the Lab of Madness, where you will encounter the maniacal Shrekley. This guy is annoyingly no joke. There's a few routes you can take here. Personally, this is where my Wind Yeti comes in. The first part of this fight is easy to counter. Once he hits about 50% HP, he will inject himself with some kind of a medicine and give himself some massive HP regen. But don't fret, Wind Yeti just so happens to have a heal block, so make use of that here. He can heal your team really well and heal block. However, this boss also applies a shock to all your monsters through AoEs. This will stack and it hits very hard. Not only that, but for each stack of shock on you, the boss's attack also deals more damage. Shortly after he ejects himself, he will go into a phase where he will run across the screen charging with his electric gun. Just dodge the gun or fight through it depending on how close he is to death. At the end of his charge, he will shoot your whole team with an unavoidable blast that you must heal through. Now, let that shock build too high or not enough heals, and this boss will easily make quick work of your team. However, when he drops to about 10% HP, he does put on Endure and will survive for about 10 seconds. You either wait it out or you bring a monster that can strip as well, such as Wind Inugami. If you successfully manage to beat him, he will reward you with either a focus or I'm not sure what it's called yet, but it translates to Gathering Room. The fifth and final room dungeon is called the Lava Cave, and the boss here is called Borbo. Borbo is pretty easy, at least when you manual it. On auto, your character is pretty stupid and stands in every AoE, which is pretty much all of Borbo's attacks, which means an easy win for Borbo. However, if you manual this fight, you turn stupid auto into an easy win. You will want to avoid every AoE as some of them apply defense break and most of them apply burn, but all of them hit really hard. Fail to dodge them all and, well, do I really have to say it? Defeat this beast of a lava monster and he will reward you with swift and evasion runes. The final set of dungeons in Cairos is called Subjugation. Here you face bosses that are, again, relatively weak, but they drop gear for your main character. You really won't spend much time here, but it is a great place to go to get mats when you need it. Sadly, each of these dungeons only goes up to floor 10 instead of 15, and are very easy to clear. On the bonus day, there is a small chance for the dungeon to drop legendary gear, but the chance is very small, and I believe only drops on floor 10. I have never seen it drop below 10, but then again, I haven't really spent much time below floor 10. This just about wraps it up for Cairos. I want to thank you all again for watching. If you have any features or questions, please type it out in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe if you want to keep up with future videos. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Dubba.